Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Regardless of this red market here, we're down about 2% on the day here so far for Bitcoin ever since it's pulled back from 70,600. That is crazy. 70,600 all the way down to 67,500 in just under 10 hours. That is, well, that's Bitcoin for you folks. If you're not used to it, better start getting used to it. This is very common stuff. Anyways, we're going to talk about this bullish backtest of this descending trend line. We did lose our ascending trend line, however, but we're still honoring our large-term, longer trend line, essentially for, if you were to use that, I have that drawn out on the daily time frame. I'll show you that here in a minute, but generally speaking, we're not in terrible shape here. We're still holding above that point of control at 67,000. And we should still see some support coming forward if the price does pull back any further. So if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. I hope you can learn something today. If you do want to become a better trader, though, CryptoCache.tech is a site linked down below. And feel free to jump on over to our Trading Academy community and Signals group. We got a lot of community members coming over there. Just know there's limited slots available for this month. We'll have more slots available on the 1st of June. Okay. If you want to hit the like button down below, that'd be great. I like the button if you hit it. Thank you so much. All right, so let's take a quick look here at liquidation level. So quickly to note, we're obviously far away from this here, but 71,250, massive amount of shorts there that could get liquidated probably in the relative near future. But again, we want to see how things stabilize first before we get too presumptuous that the price is going to recover. But at this point here, we can see both shorts got destroyed yesterday and longs got destroyed yesterday. So this is par for the course, kind of standard stuff. It's just... It's trading 101, folks. Just ripsaw up and down. Bitcoin has been doing this quite a lot. So again, all the more reason why I value low leverage, low position size, just to ensure that we don't get destroyed by situations like this. Low position size is default. You should do that regardless of the leverage amount. But low leverage allows you to survive these ebbs and flows without getting absolutely liquidated. We haven't been liquidated for a long time, honestly, ever since we started using kind of a newer strategy roughly about a year ago. So it's been a pretty good process there. Anyways, we're not here for that. We're here to just kind of describe what's going on with liquidation. We have more liquidation at 66,000, upwards of 67.5. So I would say from a liquidation standpoint, 66K could be a target. It's a lower probability, but it is still there. We still got to put it on the table and recognize that we're in a descending trend now. Until this descending trend discontinues, we got to presume it will. Okay. Now we can draw kind of a smaller time frame here, trend line, kind of see what's going on. Just pay attention to this, because again, it's important to recognize specific areas or just overall trend continuations, discontinuations, whatever the case. We always like to kind of be mindful of it. So my charts can get slightly messy at first, but I do typically always go back and clean it up and make sure that we remove any type of ascending or descending trend lines. But for right now, we want to pay attention to that. The bigger picture, though, just to clarify, if you see this orange line here, this is the important one here for us. Okay, so staying above that is important. The reason why is because it's typically going to run most larger term time frames, especially on daily. We're going to see them running concurrent with the 20-day set moving averages. So this trend line is running concurrent with that. That's a positive sign, being above the 20-day SMA on the daily. Okay, as long as we're above that, I think we're in good shape. Once we break below, if we are to, then we would obviously have a different conversation. But for right now, that's a fairly bullish sign, being above all moving averages. Yeah, same thing here as well. We can recognize that even though stochastic swinging down, RSI is coming down, we're still over 50 in the RSI, and money flow index is still high. So we got a lot of money flowing in this coin in the last 14 trading days, so we can see there's been a lot of interest to get the price action where it's at. Obviously, the last 14 days does include some of these here as well, where the price was actually low, in the low 60,000. Imagine that, 62,000 less than 2 weeks ago. That's crazy. Okay, anyways, that's just kind of where we're at now. We got a pretty good supply zone here too as well, or just more so demand between 65 and 67,000. So my anticipation is that the price does pull back to sweep that lower level of liquidity at 66K. We should effectively see a bounce in the range of 65,000. Again, just based on a lot of previous support and resistance areas that we can kind of see on the charts. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at in the daily. It's mostly positive. I know it seems kind of weird to think that because of how far down we are, just in a 24-hour period, but the general consensus here is that we're not in too bad a shape considering the overall sense of how things are progressing. And I know it sounds like, uniquely optimistic in this market. I'm not saying the price couldn't still drop. In fact, it probably still will. It's important to recognize that that's a distinct probability. But so far, with the macro being in decent shape, I'm not super convinced that we're going to see a strong divergence. we could have seen what, maybe this might actually be the maximum amount of selling pressure we're going to see in a short while. Once again, let's look at everything here. So on the 4-hour time frame, let's clarify here. We're under 50 on the RSI. That's generally bearish, right? The money flow index is pretty low, but again, that's taken the last 14 candles, roughly the last 2.5 trading days, which we've seen more selling pressure than buying pressure. We had one nice candle wick and a lot of red candle wicks coming down. So the truth is there is more selling pressure at this exact moment. However, we are stochastically swinging upwards for the second time in the last 48-hour period. That's generally construed as a very positive sign. In most cases, when you see a stochastic swing up for the second time, you're going to see something along the lines of this here, where the price action recovers. Because again, the first one is kind of a push down. The second one is okay, we've hit our support level and we're more likely to bounce. Okay. Again, it's more so just a momentum thing. You see from a momentum standpoint, the price action has been pushing down for a little while, and it's more likely to bounce having hit this second lower low, if you will. Okay. Now again, we got to respect the fact that we are seeing lower lows here. Until that discontinues, we need to presume it will continue. Same thing with this descending trend. We're establishing lower highs also concurrently with those lower lows. So again, not fantastic, but not terrible. What I mean by that is that we have a pretty strong point of control at 67,000 on the daily. So we kind of zoom out here and we look at the more recent time frame. You'll see 67,000, this guy right here, is a pretty solid support level. That's why 65 to 67K is likely to hold if we see that lower level retested. Again, we do have some liquidation down here we got to be mindful of between 65.5 and 67,000. Rough estimate 66 to 67. So we're going to be able to, if that does pull back to that level, we should have some sense and security in buying that dip. In fact, if we do see 65 to 66K, I'll be more apt to taking a long position at that point, just based on what we see right now so far. Now, is that a reason to set a limit order right now, this exact moment, for a high leverage trade? Absolutely not. No, maybe you consider adding to your spot bag, but if it's going to be a leverage play, you're going to reevaluate before you get in. Okay, that's all there is to it. Set an alert so you know to reevaluate and look at it again, but do not by any stretch just jump right in because it's today you feel like it's a good call when 5 days later we hit that level and everything's totally different. Okay. Anyways, just some friendly advice. I get people ask a lot of funky questions, and I like to kind of address that in my videos here. Last thing here we want to discuss is just take a look at this. First of all, again, just to clarify, the descending trend line. We can see we're hitting lower highs consistently. Until we break above that, we aren't even coming close to being in the clear. Keep in mind, when we break above that, even if we do, it doesn't mean we're fine. It just implies that we've discontinued this initial descending trend, and we need to establish a higher high and a higher low to be able to comfortably get back into a long position. Because again, you got to clarify, or just to clarify rather, 68,800 is roughly where the cloud is consolidating. Lagging spans free and clear, and the conversion lines below the baseline. These are all bearish signs. Okay, so taking a long into this doesn't make a ton of sense. We have a potential double bottom here forming, but that's a stretch, right? Because again, it's a smaller time frame. Typically, smaller time frames don't give amazing confirming factors. So anyways, that's kind of where we're at there, the overall sense of things. Just kind of give you perspective. I do appreciate you watching, though. Thank you again so much for all the support I've been receiving here lately and previous. You know who you are. Thank you again so much for commenting below, liking and following the videos. Make sure you join us over on Twitter, Telegram, Discord, TikTok now for shorts. I got them also on YouTube. I provide at least one daily short video for your viewing pleasure. All right, appreciate y'all. Thanks again so much for watching. We'll look forward to seeing tomorrow's video. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.